Coming up on News 2, Senator Terrence Nelson held a press conference Tuesday to report on the Cannabis Expedition trip he took in April. Nelson spoke about what was learned of the industry and where they'd like to see the territory on this. Also an update after a number of St. Croix residents filed a suit against Diageo and Cruzan Rum because of the fungus that has been growing on street signs, trees, and areas west of the distilleries. Plus, it's Police Week. Find out what the VIPD is doing in recognition. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, Senator Terrence Nelson held a press conference Tuesday to report on the Cannabis Expedition trip he took in April. Nelson and other members of his delegation spoke about what they learned of the industry and where they'd like to see the territory on this. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
A little more than 24 people showed up to hear what Senator Terrence Nelson and a small delegation learned about the cannabis industry. The group traveled to Washington State and Colorado in April.
It's so nice to see the patients walk into a clean, secure environment. They're looking at medicine that has been tested, medicine that has been rated, and everything in it is known.
Members of the expedition saw medical marijuana and just how it works.
The medicine or your prescription that a doctor gives you is put through this little door, and you receive your medicine through here.
Senator Nelson is crafting the Medicinal Cannabis Patient Care Act. He's pushing to finish the bill by the end of May.
You go to the hearing, the Committee of Jurisdiction, and then you go to the Rules Committee, which is the Clearinghouse Committee, and then it goes to the session, the Committee on the Whole. And that is at session. After it's voted out of session, it is still just a bill and a tentative law until signed by the governor.
Senator Nelson said getting enough support from other lawmakers to pass the bill will be tough. Only one other senator took the fact-finding trip. Senator Tregenza Roach said he was neither an advocate for medical nor legal marijuana. He went because 56% of residents voted in favor of a medical cannabis bill during a referendum.
I came back even more convinced about the medicinal benefits and about the value of medicinal marijuana as an industry.
Roach said federal laws will make things difficult when it comes to banking and the EPA. Some residents, though, are ready to see the VI join the cannabis industry. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, Senator Nelson says the medicinal cannabis bill will be heard in committee on June 4th. Outside of Senators Nelson and Roach, no other sitting senators were present at Tuesday's meeting. Jacine Simmons, 23 years of age, pleaded guilty in district court in St. Croix to criminal charges filed in 2 separate cases. In the first case, Simmons pleaded guilty to 2 counts of possession and prison contraband. As part of his plea, Simmons admitted that on August 30, 2013, Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections officers seized 2 shanks or homemade knives from inside his cell at Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility. Court records also show that on April 7, 2014, federal law enforcement officers found and seized a shank from under a mattress in Simmons' cell at Golden Grove. Simmons admitted that on January 2, 2015, while under indictment, VIPD officers searched and seized from his waist area a loaded .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun in the Ruby Rouse housing complex. Well, they kicked off with a ride out on Sunday and had several friendly sporting competitions on Monday and Tuesday, and there's more to come this week as the Virgin Islands Police Department recognizes Police Week 2015. What's in store for police officers and community members this week? News 2's April Knight has details.
All this week, you can expect to see more of our police officers out and about in the community. And the good news is, it's not in response to crime. It's Police Week, and the Virgin Islands Police Department is holding tons of activities to celebrate.
Every year we hold these events to, let the community come in and see what it is we're doing.
There's a bowler's night on Wednesday, and on Friday, civilian employees get the day off. And then there's the costume ball on Friday. All activities that are not just for police officers, but for the community as well.
All of our facilities are open for the public to come in and take a tour and break bread with us.
One of the highlights of the celebration is the vigil for the departed. On Thursday at 5 p.m., Crucian officers will remember their comrades who died in the line of duty or from natural causes.
Officers who we have known along, the years that passed away as well.
Police Week comes right after a week marked by a spike in homicides, with the public clamoring for ramped-up police action on crime. The VIPD says this week's celebrations is actually a good way for the community to see the people behind the badge.
It's geared towards allowing the community to, come in and see us for who we are. We're people. We're individuals who have taken an oath to work to keep you as safe as humanly possible, because you may just see me as a authority figure and not really see me as a police or human being, rather, behind the badge.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And you can contact the police department for a full listing of Police Week activities and information on how to participate. In other news, Senator Marvin Blyden visited Brookman Road in response to complaints received by residents and business owners over the weekend. The senator says he determined most of the complaints are warranted. Complaints included residents, patrons, and business owners in the construction zone were not allowed to travel from east to west. Temporary traffic lights were not installed to accommodate travels after the road crew had left for the day. And finally, accommodations were not arranged for residents and owners as promised, so that they would not receive citations from the VI Police Department. On Monday, May 10th, Senator Blyden spoke with Commissioner nominee Gustav James, who said he stated that there must be some kind of miscommunication and that he will follow up with his staff and the contractor to ensure that the correct message is communicated to the public. Count on 2 to keep you updated. A court hearing has been set in the case of the black mold that some residents and at least one lawmaker says is caused by the rum distilleries. That hearing will take place in Superior Court on May 27th. A number of St. Croix residents filed a suit against Diageo and Crucian Rum because of the fungus that has been growing on street signs, trees, fences, and guardrails west of the distilleries. Senator Kenneth Gittens has been calling attention to the fungus since last year. He's petitioned his colleagues for a Senate hearing. That hearing is in the process of being scheduled. Well, seniors on St. Thomas took to the streets on Tuesday as part of the celebration of Older Americans Month, as we reported, as known as Senior Citizens Month. The event, which featured entertainment and a program to show appreciation for seniors, is just one of the many activities that the Department of Human Services has in store for the territory's senior citizens this week.
Seniors are really gems within our community, and they're a source of knowledge. They're the ones that have paved the way for us to follow, and we should be grateful, and we ought to take time out to recognize them.
Throughout the whole month also of May, we're going to launch Senior Citizens Month with a fun-filled events with activities, events, and so many different recreational activities for the seniors. This is a way for us to embrace the aging phase and as well as to honor our seniors for what they have done for all these years in the community.
The Unemployment Insurance Division of the Virgin Islands Department of Labor will be resuming unemployment insurance services to the residents of St. John. The UI representatives will be on the island of St. John Thursday, May 21st from 9 to 3 p.m. at the Battery, and every other Thursday thereafter. Residents will be able to apply for unemployment insurance benefits, recertify for UI benefit payments, and receive access to other workforce development services and or program information. The department is pleased to offer these administrative services to the entire territory and encourages applicable St. John residents to fully utilize these services through the medium. Well, as we reported, it's National Travel and Tourism Week that's being recognized from May 2nd to 10th. Tourism officials say the Virgin Islands is being heavily promoted on the mainland, but you can do your part here at home, especially during the roadside cleanups that are planned. Now, the USVI Department of Tourism has planned a number of activities in the territory designed to build tourism awareness. The VI Nice Challenge is underway with your chance to sing about paradise. Weekly drawings have begun. Monday was Wear Red Day. Now, coming up May 14th, business networking on St. Croix at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Art. The event features USVI culinary ambassadors Chef Digby Stridiron and the St. Croix Central High School Jazz Ensemble. On May 16, territory-wide, the roadside cleanups. Come prepared. Free T-shirts and water will be provided to all the volunteers. You can head on the website to see exactly where the meetup areas are and the times. On St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, it's happening on all three islands. Now, May 22nd, cultural extravaganza is planned at the Franklin Powell Park on St. John. And then May 30th, a cultural extravaganza is planned at Tutu Park Mall on St. Thomas. Turning our attention overseas, an update, the number of dead and injured is growing after a power earthquake again hit the Himalayan nation of Nepal. At least 37 people are dead and more than 1,200 injured in this latest tremor that followed a massive quake in April. And a U.S. Marine helicopter providing aid is now missing. The 7.3 tremor was centered halfway between Kathmandu and Mount Everest. It's the largest aftershock from the April 25th quake that left more than 8,000 people dead. And dozens are dead from Tuesday's quake. Search and rescue teams are searching for survivors. 6 Marines and 2 soldiers are also missing. Their Huey helicopter went down while taking part in disaster relief operations. The crew had reported fuel problems. Many people are staying in the streets out, fearing their homes are not safe, but that may cause more problems. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As you can see, the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 36, Nasdaq down 17, S&P also down at 6. Coming up on News 2, the Golden Bear is here from California. You've seen it berth at the West Indian Company dock since Monday, and they'll be here until Thursday. Well, the Golden Bear is in the VI. You've seen it, the California State University Maritime Academy's training ship. It's berthed at the West Indian Company and has been since Monday, May 11th. It departs on Thursday. St. Thomas's Golden Bear's first port of call since leaving California on April 26 for Barcelona, Spain. According to the Cal State University Maritime Academy website, cadets in their first and third years depart with licensed faculty officers for 2 months during the annual training cruise. During these periods at sea, intellectual learning, applied technology, and leadership development are studied. The ship is almost 11,000 tons and 500 feet long. It was launched originally in 1987. Not only did they create beautiful works of art, but on Tuesday, 5th and 6th grade students at Antilles School also reflected on world hunger. On the 6th annual Empty Bowls event at Antilles, students got a little taste of what it's like to have limited food on the table.
The idea just for a few minutes in one's life, one experiences being a little bit hungry. We're not starving our children, we just want them to sort of have that experience, and then we go back in the classrooms even after this and talk about it and reflect on what that meant today. And the whole point really though is to teach children not just about hunger, but about getting beyond oneself and serving in the community and helping the community be a better place for everyone to live.
That was a great event. Claudio Macro Elementary School on St. Croix held its inaugural student leadership elections in the school library, where 6th grader Diana Marcedon and 5th grader Rory Ramsdell were elected president and vice president, respectively. 2 of 7 students vying for the elected offices. Many of the students' campaign speeches centered on enhancing school clubs, expanding field trip options, and beautifying the school grounds. Ballots were cast following those speeches. The event was the brainchild of technology integration teacher Janice Simon. Plus, a host of guest speakers attended the 2-hour gathering, including former Senator Usi Richards, who gave a presentation, and Toastmaster and local radio personality Abdul Ali. Senator Jeanette Millen-Young was the keynote speaker at the Civic Debate Conference for VI high school students hosted by Junior States of America and the Junior Statesmen Foundation. She spoke about Act number 7365 she sponsored her first term to reenact the Virgin Islands Commission on Youth, police brutality on minorities, and she also took questions from the students. The one-day conference was held Saturday, May 9th at the Charles W. Turnbull Regional Library in Tutu. This event allows students to debate and explore contemporary political and social issues. Junior Statesman St. Croix one-day conference will be held on May 16th. JSA is the largest nonpartisan student-run civics education organization in the country and has been conducting programs for the nation's high school students for over 75 years. The conference is open to all high school students, parents, and teachers. UVI School of Nursing is celebrating 50 years of providing nursing education at the university. Nurse pinning ceremonies were held Monday on St. Croix's campus for the 2015 graduates. The St. Thomas pinning ceremony started at 6 p.m. Tuesday at the St. Thomas Reformed Church. The VI Waste Management Authority advises residents and businesses of the Red Hook area that the Vessup wastewater treatment plant odor problem is being addressed. It was generating odors as of midday on Monday, and that continued into today. However, they say at a decreasing rate. The Vessup wastewater treatment plant experienced a mechanical malfunction at its aeration system last Friday. The repairs were completed Monday, but the recommissioning of the aeration systems produces foul odors as the plant resumes normal operations, they say. The waste management crews have installed a deodorizing misting system at the site to reduce the impact of the odor to the surrounding neighborhood. Well, we haven't heard too much about chikungunya recently, but mosquitoes are still a nuisance and can spread other diseases. You need an effective repellent, but many contain harsh chemicals. Consumer Reports testers reached into a cage filled with 200 hungry mosquitoes to test for the best.
Who would reach into a cage filled with 200 hungry mosquitoes? Brave testers for Consumer Reports, that's who. The job? To find the most effective insect repellents. All the insects are certified disease-free, but they're still ferocious. Other panelists sacrifice their arms to ticks. This area is not treated. This area is. If the repellent is effective, the ticks make a U-turn at the line. A repellent fails if 2 ticks cross over into the treated area. Consumer Reports tested 15 different spray-on formulas, some containing the active ingredient DEET.
DEET is an effective repellent, but it can sometimes come with some serious side effects like rashes, disorientation, and even seizures. So our experts say you should avoid products with more than 30% DEET.
But can you avoid DEET altogether and still ward off bugs? Consumer Reports tests included several non-DEET alternatives. These contain oils like rosemary, citronella, and lemongrass.
We found that the natural and herbal repellents were not very effective at all, but we did find some non-DEET products that really work.
One of the best? Repel with lemon eucalyptus. And Consumer Reports top-rated this Sawyer Fisherman's formula. It contains 20% picaridin, which is similar to a compound found in black pepper plants. Both are safer than DEET, and Consumer Reports tests found they protect against mosquitoes and ticks for at least 7 hours. This is Teresa Panetta.
Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.